It's finally confirmed. We are getting another season of Higurashi Gou. Or should I say, Sotsu. We are certain of that now. Welcome to the August Tale. I'm August and I want to help you find something great to read and experience. Here in the channel, I review anime visual novels, but for this series, we are going to cover the anime adaptation of Higurashi When They Cry Gou. These series of videos will be a review and a reaction to each episode of Higurashi, and during this second half, a future speculation and theory crafting series to solve this new mystery of Higurashi. If you have not watched episode 24 of Higurashi When They Cry, I would highly suggest watching the episode before continuing with the rest of the video. And if you're looking for my specific videos regarding each episode, links are in the description down below. And with that said, let's begin. For those of you that were worried about how Higurashi Gou was going to end, no need to worry. With the announcement of the second season, we will get the proper time needed to finish off the series. How the series will finish though, is anyone's guess. The first half of the episode was a recap of Takano's motivation for being the main villain of the original series. And yet, for being the culprit, her circumstances are pitiful. And the first scene we see her in is Takano at her lowest point. Everything she did leading up to the events of Higurashi was all for her deceased grandfather, Hifumi Takano. Ever since Takano's grandfather saved her from the wretched child-abusing orphanage, she deeply cares for him and helps him with his work. When her grandfather died, humiliated and discredited by his superiors, Takano dedicates the next years of her life studying and making connections to complete his research. The world rejected her grandfather's work, so Takano plans to prove to the world that her grandfather's research is the real deal, and by doing so, immortalizing herself and her grandfather and becoming gods. That is to say, going down in books in history. And she achieves this, as told in the Himomatsu Bushi Hen arc, where Akasaka details the aftermath of the Great Hinamizawa disaster. Here, Takano becomes the false god Oyashiro-sama, and I'll return to that point later. However, while those events are possible worlds, we move forward from the Matsuribashi Hen arc. What's supposed to happen is Takano surrendering to the club members after their battle on the mountain. What happens here, however, is Takano shooting herself out of despair from being abandoned by her subordinates and superiors. Of course, this world doesn't actually come true, since Satoko's been going through these loops non-stop, but these events serve as haunting premonitions to Takano in later fragments, similar to Teppei in the last episode. As Awa explained, every time Satoko lives through a loop, the accumulation of memories will have an effect on individuals. By seeing these haunting visions, Takano is having second thoughts about carrying out her plan, which can confirm why Takano suddenly confesses to Rika in episode 17. You could say that Satoko's tampering of the time loops ended up saving both Takano and Teppei. What a strange coincidence of events. It just required making Rika suffer just a little bit longer. There's a problem though. One that will get in Satoko's way. Takano is the main villain of the original Higurashi. Takano is the main driving force behind what happens behind the scenes. If Takano resigns from her role, then there is no conflict within Higurashi, a world in which the rules of the cat's tragedy no longer exist. The rules are referring to the universal rules which constantly appear in Hinamizawa. Rule Y states that Takano and Tomitake die on the night of the Watsunagashi festival, and it's that crucial rule that influences Rule X and Z to go into effect. Without Rule Y, it would create a world which would allow Rika to escape Hinamizawa, but according to Satoko, that will certainly not happen. From here, Satoko takes it upon herself to be the executor of tragedy, with her brute force retrieval of the H173 injection. What's terrifying is that Satoko has the mindset of all other worlds won't matter unless it's a world I want. Since these other worlds don't happen at all, she has no problem killing off other people in order to achieve her goal. Even her own reformed uncle is a tool for Satoko to carry out her punishment on Rika, becoming a false god Oyashiro-sama. There's similarities I mentioned earlier with Takano and Satoko becoming a mock version of Oyashiro-sama. For Takano, it was a resemblance to the Oyashiro curse, carrying out her executions under the pretense of Oyashiro-sama punishing the villagers. For Satoko, it's an actual application for breaking Oyashiro-sama's old rules, punishing those for trying to leave the village, a reprehensible act for the priestess of Oyashiro-sama. At the end of the episode, it was revealed that Higurashi will be getting a second season, Higurashi When They Cry Sotsu. It has not yet been revealed how many episodes we are getting, but this season will be premiering in July 2021, which is plenty of time for you to read up in the original visual novel, and the Umineko visual novel. and the Kikonia visual novel. While you don't have to read the visual novels to continue with Sotsu, reading them allows you to obtain more knowledge about the When They Cry extended universe, and can give you a much better viewing experience. Reading the Higurashi visual novel is a way to re-experience the main story, which will cover way more intimate details than what I described in this series. And reading the Umineko visual novel gives you that extra edge to understand the bigger game outside of Higurashi. The only way to experience Umineko When They Cry is through the manga adaptation or the original source, the visual novel. I'll have you know I'll be reading and reviewing the Umineko visual novel in the near future before the Sotsu anime, so you all can look forward to that in the future. I still believe that the Higurashi Sotsu anime should still be watchable even without knowing anything about Umineko, but we'll see what Ryukishi has in store for us, the unpredictable madman that he is. And that's the end of Higurashi Gou for now. What do you all think of episode 24 of Higurashi Gou, and what are your predictions on the next season Higurashi Sotsu? I would love to hear them. And as always, subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more. Please check out some of my other videos on the channel and check back every week for new content. If you're interested in my thoughts, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheAugustTale. Thank you for today, thank you all for the support, and I'll see you all later, perhaps in July or on my next video. See ya!